let's get into it. Next game, man. This is one hits close to home for old Cowboy Ty here. There's not enough passion, to be quite honest with you, from Ty. That's the only thing that I wish he would give me from this team. But
I do have passion, but I have a lot of question marks, man. Like, look at our you from this time that this Norvell has taken over from the Jordan Travis era. I mean, we go 13-0. We crushed the portal. We absolutely destroyed the portal. We did everything we were supposed to do. And then they go 2-10 in the very next season. So, like, with the inconsistency, it's hard to have optimism, or it's hard to have faith, or hard to believe. It's question marks. It's all it is. It's question marks. Are we going to get that transfer portal team that no one could stop, or are we going to get the 2-10 team they couldn't block anyone? This team has to be able to run the football to have a chance to win. That is what has got to happen, because that Gus Malzahn offense is built around running the football, and they have a plethora of backs they are going to use. Is it going to be Roy Dale Williams? It's going to be Cam Davis. It's going to be
it's not Cam Davis. He's not even fourth on their depth chart, Ty.
No, but they're running.
What happened to Cam Davis?
The plethora of backs they are going to use. I would not look at the depth chart. Ignore the depth chart. I'm just telling you, ignore the depth chart, because they are going to run them in and out, because they are going to play fast. We can't have Castanayas drop back 30 times and win the football game. That's just not real. That is not what's going to happen. That cannot happen. They have to establish a run, and then they've got to get him moved outside the pocket, and he's got to be able to find Deuce Robinson. He's got to be able to find Squirrel White. He's got to be able to find Jalen Lucas, who I expect to come back and have big plays this year. It sucked he got hurt last year. I really, really like that kid.
He was a guy you talked a lot about the year prior.
He's electric, but this team is going to have to win up front. That is the only way that they can win this football game. That's the God honest truth. I mean, there's Alabama. They have a better receivers than we have better secondary. That's stone cold fact. So we've got to create pressure. But once again, I don't believe in Ty Simpson. I've seen this kid play. I'm not sold that this kid is a great quarterback. I mean, I watched him at USF, and he looked absolutely lost. Now, he was coming into a game where he hadn't played or nothing like that, but he was still in the system. He was –
Yeah, but that was a Saban system. This system's a little bit different.
I agree. But
and so
what I'm telling you
it could play into his favor a little bit more. This offense could unlock a few things, this Kalen DeBoer offense. Look, I here's my thing. They have the best offensive line in the SEC, i.e. the country. That's going to be the factor. The trenches, I don't think FSU can hold their jockstrap right now.
I think Proctor's the best lineman, but I don't think they have the best line in that situation. They have the best player.
Top five in the SEC. I think we talked about last time.
I just remember them struggling last year. I remember struggling against Oklahoma bad. I mean, Oklahoma destroyed them up front. They absolutely murdered them. Now, I'm not saying we're Oklahoma's D-line. I'm not saying that at all.
I mean, look, again,
but I know Vanderbilt ran all over the place. So, and it's a similar kind of offense that we're going to run, the thing that Vanderbilt did.
Well, that's where, again, this is where I'm biting the bullet a little bit for FSU, because that type of offense, it's like what Georgia Tech does. It wears you the hell out. Yours is much faster than Georgia Tech with Thomas Castellano. Look, Gus Malzahn offense, it could do some magical things at UCF when you had our RJ Harvey and the linebacker quarterback. Defensively, they sucked. They sucked in the red zone. That was their fact. That was their issue. They couldn't throw a football though. I think Thomas Castellano, that's going to be a big factor. Thomas Castellano is going to roll out that son of a gun, very similar to Jordan Travis, extend these plays, and you have done a great job of putting a supporting cast at wide receivers with a ton of speed that can get open. Even the best cornerbacks, even the most talented cornerbacks in Alabama, can't guard all day long. And that is going to be a factor. That is going to be a key. And again, Thomas Castellano is going to the perfect system to unlock everything that's needed. And Norvell knows what Jordan or Castell can do, because Thomas put FSU in a blender 2 years prior to that. Had you guys on the ropes in your one-loss season, right? Because he was in a different offense then Bill O'Brien came in and changed some things.
That game was wild, but yeah.
And think about it. Think about that defense for FSU. That defense was superb. Okay, putting a ton of guys into the NFL.
It was unreal.
And Thomas Castellano had you boys on the ropes. And so
Yeah, I mean,
that, if you're an
Verse
FSU
and
fan,
Fifth.
you've got to be leaning towards of like, that is got to be our saving grace. And he's talked a lot of smack. He's talked a lot of talk.
That's see, I'm worried about that because I don't think you don't want to wake the beast. You know, I don't like that. Like you can't talk when you haven't played it down and you're 2-10 last year. Just go out there, ease your way in. You know, show them. Don't talk it. You better show it. You know, they did a good job of putting a receiving core together with Deuce Robinson. He's 6'6". Squirrel White can flat out fly. Jaden Boggs is a freshman that everyone's going to learn about real fast. You know, it's they have the pieces if it's run properly, but you got to win up front, and that's going to be it. You're going to have to win up front.
Somebody said, like, look, the quarterback situation in Alabama is what concerns them. And it should. I think it's a fair question. In years past, you wouldn't ask this question. It didn't matter, right? It was Alabama football, Nick Saban. You didn't have too many questions for Alabama. It was just going to be, how dominant are they going to be? Are they going to come in and just walk their way to the playoffs? Are they going to have to win some close ones? Like, that was always a conversation for Alabama. I feel like the talking heads are trying to push that same narrative, but we saw the cracks slowly but surely come through last year with Kalen DeBoer. They're back to being human. They've lost a handful of guys in the portal. There was some movement on Alabama. They've recruited well. They always do. But the class that's coming in was not a Nick Saban. This class they have right now that's not there yet is a Nick Saban class. You can go take a look at it, boys. It's much different than the class that's there currently. So that is something that I'm questioning. A lot of West Coast kids. A lot of that West Coast style offense and defense of linebackers and linemen outside of the ones that were already there or the ones that were recruited in last year. Again, the class that's right now that's hot and heavy, much different. Go look where they're from. Go look at the entire heat map of the class. It's Saban's touched this one. But can he get through this to get to the next class?
I just don't believe that DeBoer, you know, is the same kind of holding his players accountable for things like Saban was. I think that he's more laid back and he kind of lets them get away with more than Saban. He was in your face. I mean,
Yeah.
and they responded. I mean, they would respond to that. DeBoer, you know, he just doesn't seem like that kind of guy to me. And last year, it seemed like they made a lot of more mistakes than I've ever seen them make over a course of a season. I mean, it just didn't look the same to me.
That's the big thing is, like, people have Alabama winning to a national championship, and I know they love the sophomore wide receiver and Ryan Williams. I know there's a ton of excitement with Caden Proctor, but this team last year was also in a really good place. A ton of talent on this football team. They lose some guys, they bring some guys back. It wasn't a complete, I would say, departure of players, but they didn't do anything crazy either. So it's just a weird place of where Bama is at. I don't get the hype of them picking them to win a national championship over the likes of Clemson, over the likes of Penn State, over the likes of LSU, to be honest with you. LSU has some holes, don't get it twisted, but I feel like, in my opinion, they show some more light and more potential as of now. But look, it's going to be a fun one. We're going to another game where we get a lot of questions answered, because you're going to find out pretty quickly. If this game's close and FSU loses, it's no harm, no foul. If you guys show life, if you show that you are on the right step forward, nobody's going to say anything. If you get absolutely wally-whopped,
right,
it's going to be scary.
You can't get run out of your own stadium. I mean, they just redid it. Like, there's a lot of juice.
Yeah. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm having trouble hearing you.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. You got a home field advantage. I mean, the place is going to be absolutely nuts. It's sold out. They're going to be ranting and raving, and you don't want that place exiting third quarter. That's what you don't want. You don't want the fans quitting on you, because they've got a short temper right now. After a 2-10 season, they're not going to, wait around. They need to see life, and they need to see it fast.
And this is the perfect opportunity for Norvell to win the fans back. It's perfect. I mean, this is the spot. Like, you wanted this, you got it. Now here you go. You got to show that you deserve it, and that's it. Like, here we go. This is the game. This is the game everyone's going to be like, oh, this is Florida State from last year, or this Florida State team's got more life.
Yeah. State Miguel says a lot of juice, spoiled orange juice. Yeah, right. That's what it feels like right now. Let's talk about